Amen. Appreciate so much the Lord's goodness, His grace, and it's the fifth Sunday. Fifth Sunday is often an exciting month because people that volunteer to do things on the fifth Sunday serve once a quarter. So it's kind of exciting to see the enthusiasm for the people that get to work that little limited time, but they do a great thing over in the nurseries and the preschool and the children's classes. Appreciate so much all our volunteers and what they do. I want to take just a minute and encourage you this morning that we've been working on a series of messages about being wholehearted as Christians. One of the great dangers is being half-hearted in anything. And I'll be honest with you, I appreciate people who are wholehearted, even if I totally disagree with them, for at least they're being consistent. You know, there's something about being seriously persuaded. And sadly, we live in a day and age in which a lot of believers are just kind of mediocre followers of Jesus Christ. And I've tried to stress the point that if we don't get the foundation right, whatever we build upon it is unstable. And we've talked about the importance of loving the Lord with all our heart, mind, soul, and strength. We talked about the urgency of not being half-hearted about marriage in today's society. We talked about the urgency of evangelism, being wholehearted about prayer. And we talked about being wholehearted about life. And we talked about wholeheartedness about heaven and about reaching children. And last week we looked at the importance of being wholehearted in our understanding of the Word of God. And this morning I want to just simply talk to you about the most unfair battle that most Christians go through. And that's when they have a very poor understanding of their enemy. You know, one of the real things that we need to be aware of is that we are living in a day and age of spiritual battle. And a whole lot of believers are just kind of half-hearted about what they believe about the enemy. And I want to tell you something, if you go at a battle half-hearted, you're going to lose. Now, can you imagine coach, your favorite coach for your favorite college basketball team? I suspect many of them played yesterday, and their coaches, they prep, they have assistants that watch film for hours, they have assistants that scout the other team and watch film for hours, and they put together a game plan, and man, you know, we pay them astronomical figures to do this so that their 12 student athletes can figure out a way to beat the other 12 student athletes from the other school. The one game I watched the overtime of last night was kind of exciting. I watched the last 5 minutes of the Kansas-Kentucky game, and then part of the overtime. Then saw that Kansas was clearly going to win in overtime, and I understand that the other school represented in our audience lost yesterday as well, won there in Louisville. And did IU play this week? Did they won yesterday? All right, how about that? I should have been more observant. But 1 out of 3, that's well, that ain't all that great. But 1 out of 3 of you are happy here this morning. That's good to know. All right, and those of you who are Cincinnati Reds fans, pitchers and catchers report in 16 days. Now, we want we want to be wholehearted in what we do, don't we? Man, we want coach fill in the blank for your team to be, man, sold out and aggressive and to know the enemy. Man, we're going to know everything there is to know about Kansas if we're UK yesterday. We're going to know who their best players are. We're going to know who to foul when it's the right time to start fouling. We're going to know who not to foul in the last second. We're going to know what side of the field has a less room to inbound the ball in. We're going to know which rim's a little looser, which rim's a little tighter. We're going to know which players on their team we can aggravate quicker. And we're going to learn all the things we can learn so that we can fight with our whole hearts for that 40 minutes or 45 minutes yesterday in the Kansas-UK game. They say college football coaches work 20-hour days during the season. They want to know all they can know because with their whole heart, they want to train and equip their team to win. They want to know who they're playing. We're told in the Scriptures not to go to battle unless we've counted the cost. And yet a whole lot of people don't pay any attention to the enemy and the spiritual war that is raging around us. Many years ago, Paul Harvey did a dialogue. If you don't know who Paul Harvey is, Google him when you get home. But he did a little commentary on If I Were the Devil. And he said some things that were powerful. So this morning, I want to just ask you a few questions from the perspective, if I were the devil. Now, some of you have thought that about me, and shame on you. I'm a nice guy. I've never purposely hurt any of you. I've never kicked your dogs. I've never stepped on your cats. I've never done anything mean to any of you on purpose, and you know that. But the fundamental truth about our enemy is that he does not fight fair. If I were the devil, what would I do to make the world accept me? First thing I think I would do if I was the devil is I would make hell not a noun, but an adverb or an adjective or an exclamatory statement. I would minimize the horror and the terror associated with the reality of hell. I would make people use the word in all kinds of ways and all sorts of times so that everybody's very, very comfortable with the word. And nobody